Hello and welcome to the Now Spinning Magazine podcast with me, Phil Aston. And on this episode, I'm absolutely delighted to have with me Graham Bonnet, legendary singer with Rainbow, Michael Schenker, Alcatrazz, obviously the Graham Bonnet Band, and lots of other bands over the years as well. Welcome, Graham. And I know you've got a tour coming up in Sweden soon, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry you can't see me. I'm a bit old school when it comes to
That's all right.
Zoom meetings. I usually do it on the computer, but I'm not with Beth, my girlfriend. I usually do it on her computer. I'm not there right now. I'm in my condo, and I don't have a computer here.
No,
Um,
don't worry
but
about that at all. I mean, I want to talk about the tour. I want to talk about the kind of things you're going to be doing. But I know you've just
yeah,
released a new version of "Since You've Been Gone," haven't you? With Marty Freeman
yeah,
on guitar.
yeah. That was something I kind of dreaded doing because I thought, well, I can't match the original, but I think I did okay. I've recorded that song probably about 10 times on different albums and whatever,
Yeah.
so it came out pretty well.
No, I think it sounds excellent because I'll admit, that when I saw that you were doing a new version, I thought, oh, do we need a new version of Since We've Gone? But it's really
I
well done,
know.
and it's an excellent. I think it does. It's a different version. It adds all the elements of the
Yeah,
original, but I feel
yeah.
it's really powerful. It's really really good.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, well, we kept it as close to the original as we could. And that's like
Yeah.
8 million years ago. Well, it's a long time ago, but I don't think my voice has changed that much.
It hasn't, has it? Because you see,
No.
I saw you at Castle Donington at the Monsters of Rock Festival in 1980, and
Yeah,
I bought the album Down to Earth on the day it came out, um,
yeah.
and it's that song kick-started your career, didn't it? In many ways.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely, because that's why we still play it to this very day. Russ is. We saw Russ in London Russ Belmont about I don't know, a few months ago when we were playing. He came to the gig and he was all excited about it. I mean, it's that song is in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know that movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody called me up and said, "Hey, Graham, you're singing in this movie." I said, "What are you talking about?" I didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was, and I still can't get a picture on my phone. You can't see me.
That,
So
that
it was quite a surprise.
Because when the song was introduced to the band, I mean, I know
Yes.
it didn't sound anything like what you did to it as the band Rainbow. And then Cozy Powell almost left instantly, didn't he, when he heard it? It was
Oh
by a
yeah,
band called Clout had done like a demo version of it, hadn't they?
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a girl band. Yeah, they played it to everybody else. When I sort of joined up with the band, I didn't know what they were talking about until much later. I heard like everybody going, "Are we still doing that song since you've been gone?" So, I don't think so. That was all going on. But then later on, I found out we were doing it because the management said, "You got to do this because it'll take you into you'll be radio friendly, so to speak." And that's
yeah,
what happened. You
and that's
know,
what.
but yeah, sorry.
So, and because you came into this from a totally different musical genre, didn't you? You weren't
Yeah,
you weren't that familiar with hard rock or heavy metal or anything like that. Um,
no,
but you, what thing is apparent is as soon as that album came out and I bought it and saw we got a new vocalist in Rainbow, saw the pictures of you, I thought you looked really cool with your sunglasses, bit of James Dean look going on. Um, did did you kind of quickly immerse yourself in listening to other rock bands, or did you just think, no, this is who I am?
yeah. I mean, what the music I was interested in was like Motown, R&B, pop music, odd music all over the place. I like punk music as well, but I didn't do anything like this, because when I went for the audition and heard the band play, it was unbelievable. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, because I had a sort of an interview, an audition, I should say, and
Yeah.
they said, "Can you learn the song Mistreated?" So that's what I learned. Flew over there to Switzerland or France. It was on the border of France and Switzerland.
Yeah.
So I went over there and sang the song at them, and I got the job. after a couple of times singing it. And
Wow.
I wasn't sure. I was just overwhelmed by the sound of this fucking band. Bloody hell. It was so great.
Because I know Richie had a few issues with your image compared to what he thought an
Yeah.
archetypal rock singer should look like. But in
Yeah.
many ways, that image that you had, you've still got it. I mean,
Yeah.
that probably put you in good stead going all the way through the 80s, and lots of rock singers all started looking the same with long hair and shiny trousers and everything. And you
Yeah.
can and a lot of people were influenced by having like smart jackets with the sleeves rolled up and stuff by the end of that decade. But you must have been quite interesting for you to pick that image because it made you unique. It makes you stood out, and you, as I said, you've still got it now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Did you feel as if no, this is who I am? You didn't think maybe I should look like these other guys. You just thought no,
No.
I'm Graham Bonnet.
Graham Bonnet set upon it. I mean, it's and what was it? So anyway, when I did the audition and they said the job is yours, I went back to London when I lived in England, and I said to my manager, I don't think I fit this band because I'm not one of these guys with long hair. And I had long hair when I was a hippie.
Yeah,
Like in
yeah.
1970 something, or and I grew out of that because grew out of it. It's so times change, and
But yeah,
what happened when I started doing I like a lot of 1950s music, and that was my kind of thing. I'd listen to the Platters and all that kind of stuff. Little Richard, etc., etc. And I didn't develop the style on purpose. It just came along because my brother was a Teddy boy, Ted, when he was a young man. I always thought he looked pretty cool. So I thought, well, I'll do that, but do it like American style 1950s. And that's exactly what I did. So I had my shirts made even with the cuffs slightly smaller than you buy off the rack.
yeah.
And, tried to, the tailor I went with, he tried to copy every sort of aspect of the fashion back then. And I said, well, that's great, but do we have to be that serious? He said, well, you've got to be authentic. And so that's what I did back then. But of course, now I just buy any old shit. But, it's especially in America, you can get that kind of style kind of anywhere, And but it was not, I didn't really work on it. It was just who I was because I liked to comb my hair back and all that stuff and the glasses, etc., etc. It was just an image I had on my own because at that time it was when I left England. Eventually, it was all the punk thing was going on, and they were a bit different. So I thought, well, I could be different too. I don't have to have long hair,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it doesn't make the voice.
No,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
No. So it was something that Richie didn't like. I know. And everybody else was laughing at him because he was so uptight about it. But we came to a reasonable conclusion. It's like, okay, you're going to be like that. Oh, yes, I am.
But I guess I mean the whole point of when you're a musician or a creative person, it's creating an image that makes people look at you and go, "That's."
Yeah.
Obviously people knew that you had that, you've kept that image, as I say, through every band that you've been in. Now, the Down to Earth album really kind of influenced your career trajectory because your vocal style on that album, and plus, of course, that album really influences your live set, doesn't it? Even to this day.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Because we do quite a few songs from that album. Eyes of the World is one we always open up with, because that's such a moving, huge song, and it's great for an opener.
Yeah.
So Eyes of the World, et cetera, et cetera. There's some other songs we do, but we interchange them once in a while, because the people don't want to hear Rainbow, the same old ones. So we change them around, gets a different Rainbow. Yeah. I mean, it was something that I didn't think I would ever do, to be honest with you. But when my manager said, go back and, get on with it kind of thing, said you could make a lot of money out of this. I didn't, but he did. He put an extension on his house. So, but I mean, that's the way it goes. Managers are there to bleed you dry and, get thinking about their pocket and not really yours. But in Australia, I had a gold album and a gold single, looking the same before Rainbow. And so I
Yeah.
wasn't going to change just because I joined this band.
Yeah.
Why should I?
Yeah.
And but it did it set that look and whatever. And I'm pretty glad that I didn't grow my hair.
You've also been incredibly lucky in that you've played with some of the top guitarists in the world through the various bands you've been in, haven't you? Obviously, for Alcatrazz, you had two major players there, and obviously Schenker, who you've kind of played with more recently as well, which must be wonderful for you to have gone back and sung those songs with him.
Yeah, because I left the Michael Schenker band in shame because of my actions on stage, which I think everybody knows about now.
Yeah.
And it was over the top. I was shit-faced, to put it mildly. I was very drunk, and I started arguing with the audience and all kinds of crap. And I didn't sing very much on the first concert we did, and that was in Sheffield. And I was, I had to run for my life because one of the guys had said, "We've got to get a taxi, Graham. Come on, go back to the hotel." He says, "Otherwise, they're going to kill you."
Yeah.
And so they did the set without me, just instrumentally. But what happened was I had all the other words who when Gary Barden sang with them, all his lyrics on the floor, stuck down with tape or whatever, and the lyrics to the new album.
Yeah.
And what happened was the floor monitors, the audience pushed forward, and the floor monitors screwed up all my notes. And I said, fucking, then I got mad at them, and they started swearing back at me. But I was totally in another world. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But, and so now when I play with Michael now, I go, we did it. We actually got through that song because I'm not drinking like that anymore,
Yeah,
but drinking was my downfall. It really was. And a lot of people have, died from freaking drinking, as well as drug use.
Exactly.
And I don't want to go that way.
No, and obviously the other bonus back then was there was no social media.
No, I know. Yeah, God, it is fucking awful now. I hate all this stuff. Have you heard about that? It's all talking over the garden fence about this. Oh, you know what that guy did? Oh, you know what she did? It's gossip.
Yes,
pure
very,
and simple.
very, very true. Now, putting together your set list because you obviously said you're going on tour in Sweden. On the one hand, it must be, I could say it could be really easy to put together your set list because some of the songs just float to the surface instantly. But there again, it must be quite difficult because you must want to include tracks from Alcatrazz and the time with Schenker, and more importantly, perhaps your Day Out of Nowhere album, which is only a couple of years old, and it's got some absolutely banging tracks on, hasn't it?
I agree. I don't usually agree with with people praising some songs or what music, because I always go, I could have done it better than this. But that album, me and Conrado Pesanato, that's the name for you, our guitar player, we work very well together. In fact, I saw him yesterday, and we're looking forward to actually getting something new, some more writing for another album.
Oh, good.
But fuck yeah. I mean, when I heard the album, I said to Bethany, I said to her, God, every track is really good. I said, I can actually listen to this without going, I wish I'd done that again. I'm very pleased with it and very proud of it. Conrad did a great job producing.
It sounds epic, and I think that must be that how sometimes it's difficult for you knowing that people are coming to hear certain songs that they remember from years ago, but you've got this brand new album with new rock music that's just exciting, and it's thinking where you can squeeze in a couple of the tracks. And I know you have done before. Is it Imposter? Uncle John's been in the set list, hasn't it? A great track, but there's so many you could choose from.
Yeah. I mean, they are the only two, I think. Oh no, we're doing one from another album. probably our first album, I think it is, which was called, I can't think of the damn title now. I didn't sleep last night, help. I can't find the buttons to press. Yeah, it's it's a song called Into the Night, which is from our first album, I think. Yeah, so we do that one, and we do Imposter and Uncle John. So we can change around with those two. Uncle John's so unusual because it's in 3/4, and waltz time sort of thing.
Yeah,
but actually it's in 6/8. But it's a double. But I look at the audience when we're doing it, and they don't quite know where to bang their heads. they can't find the the offbeat. Okay, it's I love that song. I really do, and everybody else does it. But
it's
amused by it.
No, it's great. It's an absolutely fantastic song. Now, because the band's been together 10 years, haven't you? You've done what? Three? You've done 3 studio albums, live CDs, and a DVD.
And yeah. Okay, sorry.
Because a lot of people won't. The way as you get older in life, you start to think that 10 years ago was a couple of weeks. The 90s was about 4 months ago, and the 70s.
I know.
So it's worth people realizing that actually the Graham Bonnet Band has been around for 10 years because, I grew up in the decade where I remember The Who having a documentary made about them because they'd been together 10 years. It was so unusual. But now it's very common for bands to have been together for decades. But I think that's a great thing that you've been traversing the world, playing, your music under your own band for that amount of time. And the live album I played just the other day is fantastic from, I think it was 2017.
All right.
No,
I mean, yes, I'm glad that actually, when we go to Japan, especially, they really love rock music, and that's where we do the most business, I think, and what a lot of bands do. And I look down at the audience; they're actually singing the verses instead of just the chorus, which is saying to me, "Oh, I did all right on that, didn't I?" Japanese people singing onto Uncle John.
Yeah.
So, but they do they're singing the damn verses, and that's very unusual. Usually, everybody joins in with the chorus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm proud of what we've written.
Your voice is incredibly powerful. I mean, you are the archetypal singer where you can see the veins in your neck pumping as you go into that zone. I just wondered, as you've gone through life, I mean, how do you, having such an incredible, powerful, emotive voice, how do you maintain that? I mean, do you have exercises or things you do to make sure you look after your voice?
No, I don't do it. I don't do anything, which is
just there.
I'm just lucky. I remember when I lived at home with my mum and dad when I was about, I don't know, 11 or 12, I'd go upstairs and sing whatever pop songs were in the charts. And my mum was really proud of me and my dad. And my mum was talking about my singing to one of the neighbors. And she said, "Oh, but he just shouts." No, his voice is just loud. Well, even my speaking voice is loud, It's just the way I am, And if I don't do the song, full bore, go for it. It's not me. Like Cozy was the same. You've got to bash your drums really fucking hard, and that's how he was. Nobody sleeps when I'm on. That was Cozy.
But is it a kind of that style of singing and the way you do that? It must be physically. It must take a lot out of you physically. I mean, what do you do to keep fit if you don't? I mean, it's just there. You're like.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of the time, yes. I mean, unless I had a really bad night and I got a cold or strained my voice or whatever. It's not always there, but it's been very good recently. We've done great. My voice has been, on point. I'm just very lucky. Some nights, I think, oh, fucking hell. When I feel really tired, the weird thing is I sing better when I'm tired. And I don't know what that is. If I'm like, I guess it's because, after a while we've done, 5 or 6 gigs and you go, oh, fucking hell, we've got more. And you go, oh, I can't do this tonight. And you suddenly find out, yes, you can,
No, it's I did see some. I was watching some live YouTube videos from I think your last tour just before in 2023, and your voice is just the same as when I saw you at Castle Donington in 1980. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going for. If you don't sound like you, people go, "Who's that?" It's an imposter. to quote a song title.
When you play live, because I know your partner Beth is in the band as well. Do you have like how do you kind of mentally prepare yourself for a gig or a tour? Do you kind of have quiet time before you go on stage, or do you just walk straight on? No.
Yeah, I mean, usually you get there and it's sound check time, and you have to go through that. Then you have to sit around for a year, and while somebody takes you back to the hotel or not. It depends if there's an opening band. I like it when there's an opening band because they get the audience warmed up. But sometimes you don't have that, and it's just you, and you have to stay not in the hotel, in the gig.
Yeah.
And not go anywhere until you're done, I hate that. I hate hanging back in some of the dressing rooms aren't that great. I'll just say that.
No. I suppose they're not really. If you looking back at all the albums you've been on, this is going to be one of those tough questions. Is there a song that you feel, or an album, if that makes it easier, that didn't get the recognition you feel it should have done at the time?
I think It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, I did on my own, my solo stuff. In England, it didn't do anything, but it was a number one in Australia and New Zealand and wherever else. On the album that song was on. But I always thought, well, this is good. I've got great players on this, and it sounds good. I thought it was, but it wasn't heavy metal or whatever. But it was like a country song, but not a country song. Just I don't know if you call it R&B either, but it did nothing. I was very saddened about that, And I remember Tony Blackburn. You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he played it. He said, "Yeah, that was Graham Bonnet with It's All Down Baby Blue. It certainly is." And that was his comment.
Yeah.
And that shattered me. He said that it certainly is, and it sort of. That it was it didn't do anything in England. It did. It happened everywhere else but there.
But it did happen somewhere, as you say. But I know what you mean, because obviously as a creative person, you kind of, and especially if it's a solo album, you've kind of like almost given birth to a new piece of music, and it goes out, and it's not like as if you're in a factory making widgets and they all look the same. It's a unique piece of art, isn't it? So I can understand that must be why didn't it happen? Why didn't it work there? But I guess you can't really stick it. It wouldn't fit in your set either, would it?
No, the only place when we went to Australia, that's where I played it. Baby Blue, because it was a number one single there.
Yeah.
So I'm known for that single there, and Since You've Been Gone, obviously. Those two songs are really sort of. Oh, and another one called Warm Ride, which Robin Gibb wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a disco song. And I said to our manager at the time, "It's bloody disco. I can't do that." He said, "It might go in, the John Travolta movie," and it didn't. So I did it, and hoping it was going to go into that movie, Saturday Night Fever, and it didn't because they had enough. And, I thought that was pretty good. I liked the way Barry wrote the lyrics and Robin had the melody, Barry Gibb. Everybody's gone. I look at Barry now, you see him in interviews. He is so saddened, he's broken because his brothers are gone. It's unbelievable. Can't believe it. And now his mum died just a few years ago. His mum was living out all the boys,
Yeah,
it's so awful for Barry. And I haven't seen him since I lived in Australia for a short time. They played in Australia. I saw him at the Adelaide Oval, the cricket ground. And I was taken on by a DJ, and he said, "You got to go and surprise them." And so I did. I was standing in line with everybody else, lining up to see them, and they went, "Oh, Graham." And I was actually going to work with the Bee Gees again, but they spoke to their record company and they weren't interested. which was a drag because I spoke to Barry on the phone. He said,
Yeah.
I'll send you some money so you can get over here. We'll do a photo session, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And great. I thought, oh man, I'm back with these guys again, because they were sort of very close friends. I've known them since I was 19.
Wow. Yeah.
And of course, my cousin Trevor was part of the Bee Gees in Australia. It was Trevor Gordon and the Bee Gees.
Wow.
So he had singles out on the what was the label? Leading or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Leading or Festival. I can't remember what the label was, but Trevor used to send me these records that they made together. The 45s.
Yeah.
And said, "This is a great band. You'll love the singing." And of course, I did. That's what I listen to. Singers, and if the singers aren't any good in a band, I can't listen to it.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing, I guess. But because of the Bee Gees and then Rainbow, I wouldn't be talking to you probably now.
Yes, well, yeah, but you've done lots of things since then as well. But yes, of course, you're right. I mean, you can tell from your set list that, down to earth. Yeah. And I think that the way that Eyes of the World sounds, the way that you do it, so your band, your interpretation of it is just superb. Yeah. It's just...
I agree. The band's great. We're actually rehearsing. We were rehearsing yesterday, and because we have to leave in... I think it's about a week or something.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And fucking hell. And, we're all sort of been sitting around doing nothing. So we've got to get our chops together,
Yeah,
so, the Eyes of the World is a great opener. It really is.
And
so dramatic.
You still love, Love's No Friend. That's one that's really yours, isn't it? I mean, it's a really powerful. I mean, you said that you auditioned learning Mistreated, but in a way, Love's No Friend was your Mistreated in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much. It's very similar. That's what Richie does. He has lots of licks he puts together, but don't you realize you've done that before? That's to remind him. One day, our tour manager said, I'll tell you a story about Richie. He came in with this riff, and I said to him, "That's Batman." It was do 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 do, and he went, "Oh fuck, it is."
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
It would have been very interesting, but that was nixed. That was Batman. Bloody hell! Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned earlier about the social media and stuff, but you are your Facebook page is really supportive. You've built up a real community on there, haven't you? People, I can tell there's an outpouring of care towards you and the band and the other members as well.
Yeah, that's Bethany. She works on all that stuff, and Conrad. And actually, our new keyboard player sometimes he puts something out there, but I don't actually do it myself. If you see something that's hi there, it's Graham here. That's probably
you.
Bethany.
Oh, that's Bethany.
Yeah, but she asked me, what shall I write? I was having a drink of tea. Hang on. Oh God, it's cold. Bloody tea's cold. Hey, man, make another. Yeah. So Bethany says to me, well, what shall I... She read me something last night she'd written to the guys in Sweden or something.
Oh, yeah.
And, she always said, is that all right? Oh, absolutely. That's what I would have said anyway, Yeah. And she said, I know you too well, and she does.
So you've got the Swedish tour that kicks off on the 20th of April. Are you after Sweden? Are you heading off elsewhere? Do you have other plans for the rest of the year?
Yeah, there's there's Finland, Spain.
Wow.
Where else are we going? Probably England at one point, somewhere. Yeah. But we haven't got that nailed down yet. Yeah. So our agent is working on stuff right now. She called in yesterday, and she and Bethany get on very well. So Bethany's just been managing the band. I mean, she really has. We fired our manager because he was a total twat. And Bethany said, well, who are going to get? She volunteered. She said, I'll do it. But now she realizes how freaking hard it is. Because book the flights, the hotels, the this, the that, the back line. I've got everything that, that I'm going to be playing through, equipment that's real. That's not a fucking 10-watt amplifier or something. You know what I mean? It's got to be all the real stuff, and proper microphones, etc. So she's doing that, and it's really wearing on her. I'm very proud of her. I really am. But it's oh man, I mean, she gets so upset sometimes because you can't get an answer from anybody. But as I said, our agent yesterday called up and started reading off. I forgot what country she was talking about, but she's doing well. Whereas our other agent we had was terrible, as bad as our manager. So now I wish somebody could take over from Bethany, but there's nobody volunteering at the moment.
Well, I mean, you're doing really well. And did you kind of say that you might be working on a new album later? Or
yeah. Right now, yesterday, in fact, I'm working with a guitar player called Jeff Loomis.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
I know his name. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've written, let's see, 7 songs together, and it's going to be an album. So I have 7, 8. Got 3 more. He wants to write 3 more. Yesterday I did the second one, and that's going to Japan. We're trying to get a deal. Basically. Yeah. So we've done 2 songs. One's called Hollow, which is about the moon, and this one's called, I don't know what we're going to call it yet. It might be called Cecilia. I don't know. No, that's a Paul Simon song, isn't it?
It is.
But it is about, it's about the Saint Cecilia, the saint of music. That's who she is.
Right.
Yeah. And so I've written it about her. I was reading up about her yesterday, but I wrote the lyrics before I read about her. I Googled it to see what she was up to. But apparently she became the patron saint of music because at her wedding, she sang or something. And that's, you're a singer. Oh. And she became the patron saint of music. So there you go. That's one story anyway.
And where is the best place for people to find out about what you're up to? Is it your Facebook page or, Yeah, Facebook. So everybody listening to this, it's facebook.com/Graham Bonnet Music, and you'll find you'll find Graham.
That's the place, and there's loads of shit on there that it's been pretty good for us, the Facebook.
You've got it's incredibly busy, as you say, some great posts and lots of followers and stuff. So best of luck, Graham, with the tour, and I hope this
Thank you very much.
Really just continues to build on your success.
I hope to see you in England.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure when we're playing there or where, but where do you live?
I live right down in the far west, in a place called Cornwall. So I'm right down the far end. Yeah.
We've played down there. I think we played there for a few years ago.
You probably played somewhere that used to be called the St. Austell Coliseum. It was probably there that you played.
Probably.
Yeah, it's a venue that's gone now. But
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to going back again because I see my old friends and everything. They're really supportive too. It's great. I played in my hometown at Skegness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When we went back the first time we put that would be about 5 years ago maybe, and I invited my family, nephews and nieces and brother, etc., and to this little place in Skeggy, which is called the Sun Castle. It's just a small place. I used to play there when I was in a dance band when I was like 14. Now we're going to do a cha-cha, playing for dancing. And anyway, this place has become like a rock venue now. So we played there, and it was great to see my friends. They all support me. There's my cousins and etc. So it'd be nice to play there again, but maybe a bigger place,
Yeah, that sounds great. And again, for everyone listening, don't check out the Day Out in Nowhere album by the Graham Bonnet Band, because it's a great rock album. And obviously, Graham's doing tons of stuff from over his career, but that album, which isn't that old, it's very new. Is well worth listening to. There's some great tracks on it.
Oh, thank you very much. That's really nice of you to say.
That's all right. Well, take care, Graham, and thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll catch up at another time as well. So a huge thank you to my guest today, Graham Bonnet. It's a shame that Graham's camera was not working for those of you watching on YouTube, but it was a fantastic chat, and I feel absolutely privileged to have been able to talk to Graham. I first saw Graham Bonnet live at the Monsters of Rock Festival at Castle Donington in 1980. promoting the Down to Earth album, which is a fantastic album. And as Graham said, it features a lot in this current tour. But there's so many songs that Graham can pull upon from Alcatrazz, Michael Schenker, and of course his own career as well. And I mean this, everyone, for those of you who just think, oh, I know Graham Bonnet, or I can imagine what kind of tracks he does. If you haven't heard it, listen to the Day Out in Nowhere album. It is superb. Graham's voice is fantastic, but the songs, the guitars, the production, it's absolutely superb. And they've been together 10 years. You know, they've done 3 studio albums, live CDs, and a DVD, and they're going to record another album this year. So thank you for listening, and thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Check out the YouTube channel, the Now Spinning Magazine website at nowspinning.co.uk. We're on every social media platform you can think of. You can email us, get in touch. You can subscribe. You can become a patron. You can support us in lots of different ways. And thank you all for all your feedback since we've been doing all these artist interviews for the podcast. It's been absolutely fabulous. So take care, everybody. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Keep spinning those discs, and I shall see you very, very soon.